Monster kill!
Battle begins.
You don't pick a snap pick alchemist there unless you have a good idea.
If they manage, like if it is an alchemist support and they manage to pump up that void spirit with a quick axe, there's potential of snowballing pretty hard.
I guess the downside for Talon here is Razor goes mid. You effectively dodged that Razor versus Faceless Void matchup that you were trying to set up for when you did pick the Void. And if Void doesn't play into an Enigma +1 lane, he might find himself a little bit starved on farm and fall behind against a Bloodseeker who's high tempo. So I want this Alchemist to work because I want to be blown away. But I'm not convinced, and I think Aster has something really solid going again. So
Aster's last pick was pretty beautiful.
But it's definitely going to be better than the last game. I promise. I promise.
It's not going to be like a stomp.
I promise.
All right, let's see if Talon can keep Syndarin's promise that this game will be indeed better than the first one. We're heading over to a commentary. Avery.
Well, I'm not sure if I trust the panel, but I do want to hear the words, "It's not going to be a stomp."
It's going to be a stomp.
Oh, no. I mean, I know you're already back in Aster because they've got the Das Man, and you know, that twists every single prediction by you. But last pick, off-lane Alchemist.
Yeah, very interesting pick.
Yeah?
I thought they were going to go the direction of just picking something to help Faceless Void play this game, because to me it was potentially a very strong Faceless Void game in terms of if he gets a good early game, the time dilation is amazing. You have to play into Dazzle save, and of course they have last pick for this Bloodseeker. But I feel like you have to play around and help him a little bit, because your first days in his Faceless Void, he's going to slow down this Razor in theory. That's kind of what this counter pick is designed. You pick this Alk, now you're kind of in this Alk draft mode. Ags, not really anything. He's going off lane versus a counter pick that ends up Bloodseeker. I feel like the draft's a little bit all over the place, to be honest. But I think it's potentially they can have some decent snapped on. These are some pretty execute side lanes well. So we'll see what happens. I think this Alk lane can be very strong. Normally, I'd prefer to pick this off-lane Alk and do a carry that I'm very confident in the matchup. I think the most obvious one is like Wraith King or something. You just farm versus him, you kill his skeletons in the game, you get super farmed, and then you can do something with your team. Whereas, you know, counter pick Bloodseeker might be a little bit of a rough one, especially, I mean,
oh no, he's going to time walk straight into XXS, who goes for the body blocking, and they're going to keep on him, get some really good damage in, and 23 Savage at this point. Well, he can TP out. Time walk in 10 seconds. It does seem like we're going to have a little bit of a lane switcheroo. He's going to TP to the offlane tower, so he's going to be matched up into the Enigma in the safe lane. And they are going to have the Alchemist versus Bloodseeker, that's the matchup that these are what Aster.
Yeah, I mean, this part makes sense if they wanted to try and get this Alk versus the Enigma. I mean, they end up having to run the lanes. The Bloodseeker's going to run. He's going to be the longest and the latest of the lane. So the Alk can do well versus Enigma with the Acid Spray just farming up. And that part makes sense to me. Again, though, you're throwing this Faceless Void into the off lane. It can be hard for some of these carries to play in the off lane depending on what they're verse lane-wise. So we'll see how it works out for him. He's also versed Dazzle. Dazzle's just... He's a hero that shuts down a lot of these melee offlaners really effectively. Like, you're putting two melees into a lane versus Enigma Dazzle. Good luck, my friends. You know, this hero's gonna bully you. This poison touch plus the right clicks. This hero does a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like Dawnbreaker is a hero that is pressured to make kills happen. You know, you've got like this amazing powerhouse of spells in the first few levels, but you've got a very limited mana pool to be able to use them. So I feel like every hammer that you throw out there needs to be successful, and I feel like that's even harder against a Dazzle. They are doing a lot of work against this Bloodseeker, though. In fact, it might even be enough to get a kill. They do! Q snags one last long-range shot and snags the first.
Use of the early level advantage. Again, that Bloodseeker had to walk the whole way, so he's stuck level 1 versus 2 level 2s. This is the power of the Alk dual lanes. Yeah, Link mid.
Yeah, this
is going to be the rough one.
Super fun for Mako.
It is not going to be fun. I don't think playing a melee hero with no jump mechanic really until later on versus this Razor is. He's not going to have the best early game of his life, but he might make it out of it. I've seen Void Spirit escape some sticky matchups a lot. Use some water runes, right? It's the future.
That's true. That is mid lane in a nutshell. Water-rune your way out of a bad matchup. Goes every single time he comes forward, or
Body
he's going to be
blocks,
doing
too.
this. Nice body blocking, gets the extra bit of drain.
Already up to 7 denies. 8
Yeah.
denies, so
And Makoto has to use like Aether Remnant to try and secure last hits like we saw him do earlier. It's not very fun. So we really need these side lane matchups to go well for Talon because mid lane is losing. They started off with a good win in that bottom lane, getting the first blood. And it looks like 23 Savage is not doing badly when it comes to CS. 14 and 5. Really well.
yeah, I mean, versus Enigma, who's going to get some extra denies as well. Pretty much everything he gets is going to be super happy with. They don't have the big camp up here, which is a little sad for them versus Enigma. Even so Dire Sentry, maybe there were some Sentry Wars, but ideally Hyde tries to open this up to get the extra XP on the lane. Because this is not a lane, I don't think they're going to get a kill on this lane. It is a pretty hard lane to fight into. Again, the safe lane Enigma Dazzle with double melee.
And if you are ever going to kill it, you need them to be pulled forward into your
Exactly.
side of the tower, right? Because you've got double slows to work with. You need a long lane to be able to...
Siamese Cat says he's done with that anyway.
Yeah, apparently they're going to be tri-laning it up. Now, the silence is going to last a while, but Q can still get some spells off. Fast and does a cookie back under the safety of the tower. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, is Aster just going to keep this tri-lane scenario, or are they really feel like they need to shut down this Alchemist, or just about the fact that Enigma doesn't need him anymore?
I think he just felt like he wasn't doing much top. Like Hyde stopping all the pulls just with his body. He's just watching this Void farm. Maybe they didn't feel like they could be aggressive. I think they had some aggressive potential up here. Like if you force the time walk and you go on him again, can Void stay in this lane? I'm not sure. That said, maybe they also want to free up this Tiny for the mid roam because it is Aster style, right?
Sure,
they want to get
yeah.
Baboka around Ori mid. They want to be fighting the runes, using the toss back, the stun, the skirmish, especially if this Razor opens up a lead.
Nice use of the Malefice there. XXS stomps the Starbreaker hits from Hyde that were might have actually gotten a kill. Completed that swing.
Still no big camp for them top. It's just so late in the lane it's going to come up. He's finally flying the sentry. I have to feel like this hurt them though on this lane tremendously. Like even again, like we were saying, if you force the Dazzle to try and body block it, that's when those kills might open up on the side. Still,
Yeah.
Savage is, I mean, he's having a way better game than last game where he had to, he's getting tossed into some Viper goo.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But it looks like, even better, they're going to be able to get a kill.
Very nice. Well, there's that investment from the Dawn that you love to see pay off. Her spells are expensive. She bought triple mango to start. You really want that net worth to come from the kills later on. And yeah, Ori still having a free game.
Oh my god, oh, the toss over to the side! That's going to be able to save him. They had to throw the stun onto Siamese Cat instead, but it looks like with the rundown coming in from Ori, KP is also in trouble here, and it looks like you get both of those kills. Nice rotation by Ori. I mean, he has an entirely free lane, so expect him to have another impactful game. I mean, he was absolutely running the show in game 1, and I expect game 2 maybe similar here if Aster.
Sent Makoto to base, gets the free rotation bottom with the early ult. I think he's a little sad he didn't get either of those kills, They might have a team talk later about that one.
Yeah,
a little too much chaos action going on, but
I mean, you guys aren't securing water runes. Now you're taking the last hits.
I mean,
kills.
Baboka actually took that one. What an absolute chat. He says, screw you, I want a Blink Dagger in this game, so.
That's true. His Blink Dagger, despite them, obviously absolutely running that game 1, Blink Dagger was a little slow.
Dock some points.
Yeah, I mean,
Other kill
first
attempt.
rotation here from Makoto. Should be
Haste
able to get
rune.
a kill on XXS. It was a nice attempt, though, with the toss back, but ultimately, any efforts you make are going to be... It's 3 heroes with a Void Spirit having haste.
See, look, they gave Makoto the kill, They gave him both some nice little... They backed off, they gave him some space, they didn't pressure him too much.
That's true. True.
That's how you do it.
Big difference between...
I mean, it is pretty
teams and
important
how
for
they
him,
support
right?
Their mid laners. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
these rotations for the Void Spirit are how he gets some net worth back in this game after a rough lane matchup. He wasn't even that far
Experience,
behind.
too.
but-
I mean,
yeah.
he lost so much experience just through all those denies that the Razor was getting.
They're even just giving KP mid here. And this Void Spirit's going back top, so...
Oh, yeah, he TP'd up here. This is a great time to
Yeah,
be able to
dive
run
him
down.
again.
They're going to go for the Eidolons here. And XXS may be lured into a false sense of security. They've used some spells on the Eidolons,
Any
but with the
bash?
Void Spirit
Don't
here,
need
they
it.
easily get the kill. And it looks like Siamese Cat, also known as Ball, also it's PQ. TP's in
Any
a bit
more
too
names
late.
you want to...
Yeah, I don't know. He's just switching it up. He likes to switch it up, apparently.
Well, some decent rotations here for Talon. I mean, this is a very different game than the last game. This is what I mean. They have some pressure points on the map. They did a nice job of using this Enigma. There's another reason why Enigma's safe lane is kind of weird, because you end up pulling the wave back and then you're under your tower. Enigma can be strong under the tower depending on the level differential, but he wasn't really stomping the lane. That Void was just having a free-for-all, basically, even without the pulls. You get that numbers advantage versus him. As long as Enigma is feeding a decent amount of gold and XP Talon's way, making up for Makoto's early deny war versus Ori. I think Talon's pretty happy with how this is going, considering, again, they were the ones, without last pick, jamming this Alk blind.
Yeah.
They get through the early game, their Alk plan comes online. I'm going to be interested to see what KP wants to itemize. Does he want to go more of a fighting build with early concoction acid spray points? Some sort of, you know, you see Blink, Medallion, Drums, Wraith Pack, Aura build? Does he go greedy or pool and Ags to Void Spirit? Could be nasty this game with the silences. You have to think about early BKBs from Razor, Bloodseeker.
I mean, if you can pull an Ags over to the Void Spirit and he can just focus on other items, that would be a really efficient Dazzle killer. And I feel like that was really important for the Arlington Major. Whenever these teams had these Winter Wyverns and Dazzles, you needed something that could get to that back line and kill them. Otherwise, their impact in team fights was just too great. Jumping in onto Monet. Should be some pretty easy chain stunning there. Well executed gank by Talon. Took a while to get here, but it pays off. Big dividend. Carriel on the carry.
These safe lane kills are going to feel better for them this game too, just because their draft is... It's not as tempo based, right? They have this Faceless Void, they have this Alchemist. If they get some kills on the lanes, they slow it down, defend their towers. This is how their draft likes to play.
Setting up for the black hole. The cookie comes in and will be able to stop it. Turn around, 3-man Chronos Spear as well, but there's no damage behind it. Scatterblast is going to be able to come through and do a lot. XXS is going to get low, but the toss up and the damage, it's there. 23 Savage could not time walk it off. And sadly, that 3-man Chrono looked very pretty, but there was no follow-up to it.
It's one of those Chronos you get halfway through and you're like, whoops. Like you said, looked great. I mean, that's going to be something you have to think about this game. There's not a huge amount of damage to pump in there unless you have the Snapple. Of course, he was cooking in to save him. It was kind of not the early damage there. And even Q is rushing Ags in this game, too. That's a spicy itemization right there. Brown Boots Ags for Snapfire.
Yeah.
Granny's making some cookies. That's for sure.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's the save mechanism, or do you think it's the trying to hit the back line? Is they're going to go into Monet here again? And if all of these shots land, the last one, no, it actually doesn't last long enough. The Shallow Grave sticks around too much. Plus, there's all those heals. Dazzle now.
Daz, man, you got to think about him. Always got to think about him. Bails you out.
I know he's on your mind 24/7. That's for certain.
And this hero's just so annoying if you can't jump him. I've always said if this hero gets 2 to 3 rounds of his spells off in a fight, that's a hard fight to win. It's just gonna be tough. His spells add up. You get the armor differential added on top of it.
I mean, don't forget about the bad juju damage.
Bad juju damage. Big 50 or 100 damage ticks here or there.
If anybody doesn't know this meme, bad juju from a damage aspect does incredibly little.
Yeah, but it's free. It's free damage.
Yeah, but
you're going to turn it down?
It's insultingly low.
Do you think at the start of the game it should ask you, would you like bad juju damage this game? You're going to decline? No. I'm a man of principle.
Jesus, 23 seconds. What was all those bashes in a row?
You didn't get him earlier, so he's saving him up.
Wasteful. Here we go. He is going to complete his Mask of Madness. This is when the Faceless Void farm starts picking up a bit faster. So with the good start that he had in lane, he's definitely going to be keeping up with everybody else in this.
Doesn't have much to be afraid of for the foreseeable early game outside of the Tiny Blink, which is just so far away from Boca.
Oh.
Again, Talon can make these early moves on the back of the Void Spirit. The Dawn ult behind him, smoking the bottom again, trying to find Enigma. Free food.
Very free. Kodo finds another kill with the help of High, and they do have the ultimate here for the Solar Guardian. If they can get the chain stuns, they won't need it. Nah, 23 Savage. Bash at Bash gets another kill on Monet. Talon, they're looking very good right now. It almost feels like Aster's the one who is looking a little lost in this game.
They're just confused as to who they're playing around. Like, your only real playmaker at this point is Is Razor running in? Who's he running in versus? There's just an acid spring mid. He can't run at this void top. No one can kick him out of this jungle area. Map very awkward for Aster to play right now. They just don't have the catch or the stuns. Let Razor output that damage.
They're going to go again. Chronosphere with the Snapfire kisses. And no Dazzle close enough anyway. He was running through the jungle, but you weren't going to get there fast enough, Siamese Cat. Say it.
I really like how Talon's playing this map. They are making it very annoying for Aster to feel comfortable during this time period.
Oh yeah, they're not getting to have their split up of like side lane cores just AFK, you know? Like, there's a big difference between the bristleback of last game from Vinay and this Bloodseeker.
Finally, trying to kick him out of this jungle. They're gonna bring Ori to do it. Not gonna get a kill though, just gonna get some map control. I almost think Bapoka should just farm a side lane. They need his blink so bad this game. And every time they make one of these moves and run around, Mr. Greevil's greed going to work on the other side. Early investment's going to pay off for KP. He is rushing that Ags. I say rushing, and he already has it. This is a monstrous timing here for Talon.
Oh yeah, being able to complete the Witchblade and have an Aghanim Scepter on Void Spirit. I mean, Makoto is set up to handle this game. I almost feel like if Talon, like, if they lose this game, they're going to be looking back on Makoto's performance. You are set up to win the game.
Calling him out or calling him up?
No, I'm calling him up. I think he's going to be able to prove it.
I agree. I mean, he gets to go for this first item, Witchblade on Void Spirit, gets the Ags pooled to him. Suddenly your damage output is just through the roof, 10k on this guy.
Yeah, considering all the kills that he's been a part of, his experience, like he's gotten some good levels. If he can get another round of kills, get himself up to that level 2 ultimate, he's going to start feeling real fine about everything going on here. Cookie attempt for an initiation, just a bit of fish, but wasn't. She is going to be going for a fast BKB. Closing in on.
This is where you really want to smoke this guy up and get him somewhere for some play action. You want to use this Ags as soon as you get it.
All right, they are no longer allowing Talon just be able to sit in this dire jungle. Aster putting some significant resources to.
That's maybe the one awkward thing about this Ags pool this game is, can Talon force something with it? And where do they force it? Their lineup isn't that good at just forcing objectives. They don't have some like Ursa lane that's going to do Roche early. They don't have some lone Druid type carry that can just run at the towers. Maybe they're happy to just play it slow, keep pooling some Ags. Maybe that's part of this Ags timing on the Snapfire from Q as well. Get some extra initiation and you can shoot the over-steroided Void Spirit into them.
Yeah,
make them deal with him, you know? The big question mark is going to be, is this Razor BKB enough to slow down this investment from Talon? Which, again, they still haven't found a use for it. Like, this is an Ags pooled to your Void Spirit to let Aster farm? Not ideal.
Not what they want. They've got the smoke, but it doesn't seem like they feel super comfortable with where they want to play. You can see Aster isn't really leaving any exposure right now. It's just a bunch of heroes grouped up around mid, and a Bloodseeker who's playing very close to his offlane tower.
Aster's ready for the fight. They're clumps. DD rune.
Just blind avalanche, you know, just like they got to be around here somewhere. I mean, if Aster is going to stay this clumped up, like, surely it's okay if nothing's happening for Talon's side, right? They're farming up on an Alchemist and a bunch of heroes.
I would not force. I mean, I would not force into this lineup too, right? Great packed Enigma with a Dazzle behind.
The Cookie's going to try and get him out of there, but Ori does do the damage fast enough with the double damage.
Hole in the
now,
void.
they do have the whole. Oh no! 23 Savage will manage to time walk away. Now it's going to be the Enigma who's going to be in trouble. The Shallow Grave does buy him a bit of time. Makoto. But okay, he doesn't actually have a whole lot here. They're going to have to use the Chronosphere. Now, the BKB is going to wear out. They have the Aether run. He's going to go for the kill. He's going to go for it. Jumps in, does manage to kill the Razor, and gets out too. A fast read from Makoto. He dares to dive in, gets the kill, and gets out. Now, it does cost the Faceless Void his life, but the big player on the field, that Razor, goes down with a BKB on cooldown. Talon, they're kind of free to do whatever they want now.
600 gold kill going to Q. That Snapfire Ags.
Yeah, he's
coming out a little faster. Who do you shoot in here?
I mean, it's got it. The Void Spirit, right?
Shoot KP in. Big body, you know?
Yeah.
Do some extra damage.
Maybe pre-pop the unstable concoction, too. You know?
That's true.
He,
I mean, what if you shoot him in
there,
and he stuns himself, though?
He
That's
lands there, instantly explodes on himself. Yeah, that sounds a great combo.
a little rupture kill, maybe?
Yeah, the Aether Remnant's going to pull him back, but 23 Savage doesn't want to try and commit and go for... Nor should he. Razor's back into play. Talon. You know, I kind of like the fact that even though they gave this Aghanim Scepter over to the Void Spirit, they didn't, like, really rush things. Because I feel like that could have been a disaster. Force the mid tower or something.
It's definitely awkward running into this Enigma Dazzle lineup. You're going to give Bloodseeker the fight of his dreams. You know, if you overcommit, you start getting low. Even if Enigma doesn't kill you in the hole, he gets you low. It's enough. And
Obika finds another opening, and the cookie is not going to get Q far enough away, and they can take that damage and turn it right back around that mid tower. I'm surprised that Talon really didn't feel capable of fighting. I guess without the Chronosphere, just no bueno. I would have thought just an acid spray and like Makoto's presence just maybe been enough to force.
those are kind of the fights they want to take, where Aster's going into them around a tower. They can get on the back line a bit easier.
Yeah.
Especially if Boca goes deep like that, you can just counter-initiate with this early Void Spirit Ags, which we still haven't seen put to use. It's almost like he doesn't... You almost forget he's had it in this game in a way. And
yeah.
It'll pay off long-term. Obviously, he's going to be very strong in these later fights. At the same time, I do feel like this cool Ag strat, it's kind of about what you get done with it right when it hits, you know?
Yeah,
it's like you give it to that Razor or that Bristle type hero and you go ham with it, at least a little bit. Then maybe you farm. You're going to give time for these Aster cores to catch up, because this Void Spirit Ags is not some crazy farming tool. Not like you're changing the trajectory of this hero massively, you know?
Right,
He's still going bots. He's still going to push out waves and farm jungle at pretty much the same rate. So it's not really an investment that's, you know, it's not in your retirement account. You're still going to pay tax on it a little bit. So,
all right, what about the Aghanim Scepter being given over to the Faceless Void? That changes the trajectory of how this hero farms? It's gotta
definitely
help a little
helps.
bit.
I mean, it's going to be nice for him. Just boosting him up, pushing them towards that late game, the extra net worth. Like I said, I do think this is a game Faceless Void can do some serious damage in.
Yeah.
Time dilation is going to wreck them for a long time. It's their main scaling tool versus Razor. We saw this was the matchup back at Arlington that these Chinese teams were trying to abuse between the Aster, LGD, and who they were playing against. Like this Razor Faceless Void trade. This is what LGD really liked in terms of jamming it and saying deal with it because we trust the matchup later on. So that's where, yeah, this Alka is going to help him out a lot. You know, is there any reason to get the Berserk Potion as well? That's the other way you can use this Alka to buff up your cores. Some extra damage, some extra attack speed, some extra HP. Doesn't sound too bad on a Faceless Void, you know?
Little things, but I'm not sure if a basic Dispel.
No,
that would be the aspect of it that I feel like could be really OP.
There's like some Malefice, some Poison Touch.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, you can see with the Faceless Void who already picked up the Shard, and I mean, it's a really good Shard for this game. Razor and Bloodseeker both really don't like the fact that Faceless Void can jump in and then jump. So when he gets the Aghanim Scepter especially, it's going to be this weird kind of poke against Aster that is going to be hard for them to be able to commit.
I think it's a decent way to play the fights, as long as, you know, just get massively destroyed on a core with a Rupture. That's the one tool Aster has. If you Rupture this Faceless Void or this Void Speed or something like that, and it allows the Razor to go in and commit, there's not a huge amount of turnaround outside of this Dawn ult, which, you know, it's okay, but this is a 5 Dawn. He's not doing anything crazy this game. The one X factor I feel is if this snap, maybe this snap Ags, you get it later. If you get like Blink, Aether Ags, you can eat someone out of a hole, you can eat him out of a Rupture, shoot him away, reset the fight. It could be some super long-term game plan from Talon here. And how are we going to take the long-term fights? If you save your cores from these big ults on Aster, I can see Aster running out of firepower. Fight goes on, multiple jumps from Faceless Void with the Ags and the time dilation. They're going to win you those long fights. And there's the Ags from Q. Time to put it to work.
All right, double Ags timing.
Shoot him in.
The potential of so much initiation, but are they going to be able to find the opening? Aster, or he's going to run in straight into all of Talon, and Talon is quickly going to be retreating out of here, but they're not going to be lit out just yet. Snapfire is going to be tossed back, a nice one. And they are actually, Hyde's going to go for it, try and bail out the Snapfire, but now he's in trouble. He will break the link, and 23 Savage is going to make sure that Ori doesn't feel comfortable pursuing. So a small victory there for Aster, a port kill, but it also failed timing for Talon, right? I mean, you say when you get this Aghanim Scepter, you want to make a big splash with it. Twice now that we just haven't gotten to see them.
That was double Ag Scepter timing because they pulled the one to the Void. They had the one on the Snapfire and still can't find the opening here. Where is this? Is Aster just this brick wall too hard to find any sort of hole in?
I mean, I feel like a large part of this is how Ori is playing Dota right now. The puck performance he had earlier, but now also the Razor, the way he just kind of like runs into Talon, feels like he's spoiling a lot of these initiations just by being so berserk.
It's also probably Savage doesn't want to just chrono somebody with this Dazzle behind them, right?
Yo, yeah.
Like you commit some chrono ult, the guy gets healed, he gets graved, glimmered. Where's the rest of the damage coming from? Baboka.
Can they burst him down fast enough? The toss up in the air into the silence, and he won't be able to get off the time walk. Very nicely chained. You could see Baboka was holding on to that toss for a little bit to ensure that silence landed. He'll pick up the extra kill on KP as well, and release straight into the Roshan from there, right?
Next on the list, take it down, and game is getting a little spooky for Talon. They got all these Aghanim Scepters and haven't been able to do much with them.
No, they really haven't.
Aster giving them 0 openings here. Again, Ori just running in. I mean, no one wants to go on him. We're talking about all this net worth for Talon because it's, I mean, it's an alpha lineup. It's pretty interesting. At the same time, these Aster supports got pretty rich in the meantime. Like this Dazzle, he is farmed. He's got Glimmer, Shard, working his way towards Aether Lens. You were talking about you have to backline jump this hero. The more items he gets, the harder it becomes to do this. And who's going to be able to do it? Mikoto? Good luck. You're jumping potentially blind into a fight where you can get tiny comboed, you can get ruptured, you can get black hold. There's a Wraith Pack reducing your damage.
Hex you straight up.
Yeah, Dazzle might just go on you, yeah. I mean, that's also something we saw at some of these past majors, like this Wraith Pact item. It was an item that was purchased a lot for these mid-spirits, mainly Void Spirit, because Void Spirit is one of the spirits who's very jump burst dependent. He wants to jump a target, burst, and make the fight a numbers fight, maybe reset a little, and then engage. Wraith Pact negates a lot of that.
Ran into KP, but at the same time, they did jump Monet. Now, Monet
nice
had
chrono.
the BKB.
No
He was
BKB.
able to respond. A Chronosphere that is going to be blowing up the Razor, it looks like. Oh, gets off the BKB now and is able to walk it off. Unfortunately, 23 Savage, he just didn't get the right bashes. Maybe a second chance here. The Time Walk is coming back up, and he's going to use it to retreat, especially with Monet here running that fast. It was unfortunate because Monet got super low when they went on him in the bottom lane, but it seemed like a fast BKB allowed him to be able to survive. He shows up here, helps Aster fight.
Very unfortunate sequence of events there for Talon, almost getting multiple core kills. Of course, Monet still has Aegis. You would have loved to get that Razor kill there.
Yeah.
Ori did not get his BKB off before that chrono. The Pisses damage adding up. Still not enough, and this Faceless Void does not do enough physical to burst him through the rest. Needs more Ags. More.
Yeah, how about you gave it an Ags to Dawnbreaker at this point? I mean,
it's not really more damage though.
KP? Like, where do you go from here?
Pull him a butterfly or something. I don't know. This guy needs damage.
Farm up a Moon Shard. There we go.
I'm telling you, man, the Berserk potion. If he had the Berserk potion.
Of course, Berserk. Stacks up the hard camp. Yeah, I mean, KP is doing his job. He is farming up and giving away Aghanim Scepter. But that's kind of the sad part, is that, like, okay, that is your job.
He had a really decent game, too. Like,
yeah,
he was cruising, timings-wise. At some point, they just need the damage to kick off.
Spot Monet here, but they don't want to go on a hero with an Aegis. They have the BKB coming in for 23 Savages. And once he has that, okay, he's going to be pretty free. He could danger of...
I don't think the poke is doing much at this point, though. There's too much sustain coming out from this Bloodseeker, Dazzle, plus the Vlads on Enigma. They can heal up through these pokes a little bit. Kind of just have to commit in the fight. Trust in the Void Spirit burst, or maybe him catching a silence on the backside, zoning Dazzle. Like, this is the best way to use the Ags in this game.
Look at Ori.
He does not care.
I know they're somewhere around here, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and walk into them with my plastic field. They go for the toss back. They couldn't quite get it. 23 Savage with the cookie comes back in with the time walk, then goes back away again. Q trying to slow down Ori, but Ori's just headlong in with the BKB. They're going to tear through both supports. Well, KP's not a he's a core technically, but he's mostly a support now, as Makoto's going to get tossed back in as well. Does have to dissimulate, see if he can get away from all this with his ult. Oh god, Ori's just not slowing down. Another double full damage. That is going to be doing some work underneath the
And
tier
buyback
3.
from Snap.
A buyback from Q that is really not going to do anything at all.
Do have Chrono up. No BKB on this Razor.
Might have been a nice opportunity if they could have gotten a Chrono on that Razor underneath tier 3. Maybe they just want to wait out Aegis. Minute and some change before it goes down. Watch.
And Talon, they just have massive damage problems. If this Chrono Kisses doesn't connect, it just feels like Ori is just rampaging through them.
Yeah.
We're not even getting to the backline here. XXS has just been chilling in this game. He doesn't need to black. He's like, yeah, I have black hole. If we need it, let me know, guys, you know? He's just saving it for next game at this rate. I mean, no pressure on him to do much. He's just always in that backline, making it hard for these Talon cores to commit. Toss back Rupture.
Nice combo. Very, very nice. 23 Savage pretty much gets one shot by that.
Map's getting closed out here.
Hide. The hammer, get the other side of the trees. Just Talon repeating and retreating. We haven't seen like the laning phase, and they were getting all these kind of pickoffs, but I feel like in this entire series, we haven't seen like one good, clean.
It's like they have issues finding how to start it.
Yeah.
Like they feel like they're strong. We felt like they're strong. Then there's just Ori sitting mid, and what do you do? You know, there needed to be some sort of smoke wrap or like smoke into aggressive ward placement that gets set it up later. You have Void Spirit, if he goes as bots, he can shove out lanes to try and split Aster up on the map and find the opening. If you let Aster clump like this is where Dazzle Enigma thrive. Again, rate pack plus all the sustain and saves. The jump isn't going to be easy. Like, you're just going to jump and jam all of your burst damage into this Razor with 3,000 HP who's going to get healed engraved anyway.
Yep.
You're setting up for a tossback. You're setting up for this hole. It's a tough way to take the fight. I really think Talon, they had the timings in this game, just didn't find the openings. Good replay for them to look at, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, the game isn't over by any means, but at this point, it's an uphill battle because, like you were saying, this Alchemist, he's basically 10 positions. He's not offering a lot.
Smoke out, but Ori just runs. It's like they know every single time he knows where Talon is and where it's going to be the most disruptive for him to show his face, and they pick up 2 easy kills off of that one. It's going to be completely satanic pretty soon, so, you know, talked about the potential of them throwing all this damage and then him getting shallow graved. Well, there's also the potential now of a satanic turnaround. See the burst damage. They're gonna go for it.
Right.
Okay, Shallow Grave does go down, but the Bloodseeker is gonna be stuck. Perhaps in some chain stuns, gets a little heal off, and he does turn around. XXS, it's juked out that one, but it's the Faceless Void going back into hell as Monet looked to be able to finish off the job. That is 3 heroes down with a 4th on its way. Dawnbreaker, we'll see you in the fountain very soon. Makoto, look at that team fight. Aster looks to be able to close out this series with a nice duo, it seems.
Stuck between a hole and a Bloodseeker. That's the same.
Yeah.
That's the Dazzle, man. You don't get on top. I'm telling you, it
all comes back to the Daz, man.
I mean, somebody check this guy, right? It's like, it's the best fight you're going to get, and then there's a grave, and suddenly this fight just feels awful. They finally get a black hole. It's nothing. Still win the fight. Sends him back into the hands of the Bloodseeker. Monet had a rough start to this, having to go to that offlane level disadvantage, got killed.
Toss in with the Dawnbreaker, getting the chainstone onto Ori, and it's almost enough, but there's the Shallow Grave. Once again, they haven't dealt with the Dazzle. He's going to be tossed back successfully as well. And look at Monet just going to town. They do manage to pick up the Enigma. That's nice, but Monet is completely undeterred. 1 by 1, he will just right-click all these.
We see the Snapfire damage. It's getting to do some work there. Almost killing Ori and setting up this Enigma kill. Only these connections that happened like earlier in this game, I think that these fights could have gone better for them.
Yeah.
We saw Makoto. He was actually looking for the Dazzle there.
He was, and he got the silence off a little late, sadly. Siamese Cat was so good playing the Dazzle. Arlington Major.
Oh yeah.
And
Dazzle Wyvern main.
Yep.
He's gonna play both those heroes this whole tournament too if he gets them. I mean, it fits what they want to do well. It pairs with Vivoca's heroes. It pairs with how Ori wants to play, which is apparently
run in like
I'm
a
just
psycho.
gonna destroy you. touch me if you dare.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, you could see he's just linking with, you know, like anytime anybody shows himself, he's like, whatever, I'll link you. It's not like he can save it. Oh, trying to go for the toss back. The creep spawning, deny him that. And KP will survive for now. And maybe they will resetting themselves. Three-man Chrono into the Dawnbreaker ultimate. Gets the stun out, but Monet, he's not dying so easily. He's trying to get off the Rupture. The time walks are going around. The Shallow Grave is going to be able to buy Monet a little bit more time. Turns around, Rupture's up, and 23 Savage just dancing around trying to stay away from this Razor, but Makoto is locked down with the Rupture, and it is going to be GG from there. So many beautiful Chronos this game, but not a single time were they able to execute to win the team fight afterwards, whether it was lacking the damage or it was not catching